Welcome back to Speletons.
That was an abrupt ending.
Wait, you're an abrupt ending, Derek. Jeez, you have problems with the way we do things here, Derek?
Yes.
How so? I will make my way through this fucker. Wow. Aha! Oh, I literally thought I outsmarted him. I will do
You can't
it.
outsmart a crab.
Oh yeah? Watch me outsmart a crab. Okay, well, hey,
Plankton's
buddy.
been trying for years.
That's Plankton.
He went to college. I mean, you did too, but...
Yeah, I have as much college as Plankton does. Pretty certain. Ah! Aha! I've outsmarted him
he never
even
says
more.
he went to college. He never said he had a degree. So.
Correct. Neither do I.
I do, but it hasn't made much of a difference.
Yeah, take that, Derek.
All it does is let me brag at
the
work.
one with the degree is ahead of the game.
Literally, all I've been able to do with my degree is just brag at work. By brag, all I mean is when something comes up and like I'm trying to and I need to assert my intelligence, my like intelligence domination.
I have a degree
Over people.
Oh.
Or my intellectual dominance over people. That's, I guess, that would probably be a good way to word that. I can pull my degree into it.
I can pull my degree. Can I get up there?
I can say I went to college.
What was I gonna say? I feel like I had another story to talk about. Do I have another story to talk about?
Which also makes me sound like an asshole, but that's because I also am.
Yes. I.
Like.
No offense, Derek.
No, that's one of my favorite things to say. It might make me sound bad, but that's because that's one of my favorite things to say is it might sound bad, but that's because it also is bad.
Laylee, get in here. Yeah, Laylee, working with me for once, buddy. Appreciate that. Never do. Yooka's just looking at me like, what the fuck? Am I looking this?
There are times at work where I just have to, or like people doubt my math. That's the thing that annoys me the most is when like I just like look at something quick and just like when I look at like a quick like thing of like with like prices or something or like or like I do a little quick math on like the price of something like that, and people like look at me like they have no like
wanted to die
like
there,
they just
I guess.
completely doubt me.
Just wanted
Or like
to doubt me.
I tell them, I explain like math to them on like how a price ended up being what it was or something like that, like the final cost of something ended up being what it was, or like
Yeah.
and like people just cannot, like some people there just cannot comprehend basic math.
I had a girl at work.
And like they doubt me, or like they'll get a calculator to confirm it, and it bothers me.
Basically say something about, oh, she wanted to pick up a shift, and she said, I have to skip math class. I'm like, well, you really shouldn't do that. And she's like,
Yeah.
I'm good at math. I'm like, okay, what's the derivative of 2x squared or whatever? And she's like, isn't it just 2? I'm like, no, it's 4x. Ha! And she's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, that's calculus. You don't even know calculus. How can you say, and it's like, calculus? Oh, I failed out of calculus. The course I'm talking about is contemporary math. I'm like, okay, well.
You gotta learn to walk before you can run, miss.
I'm like, okay, well, in this short exchange, you've basically convinced me that you are not good at math. In the small few exchanges we had. I roast my employees a lot.
I roast one of my coworkers a lot just because.
You got a joke.
I'm actually them? One of my coworkers. It's
fucking.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's jokingly roasting, but one of my coworkers, he gets really nervous around me when he has to do math because like he's worried he's gonna mess it up and I'm gonna make him look stupid or make him feel stupid
my favorite thing, my
because I
favorite
will.
thing in the world is when someone calls me over. It's like, okay, I know you're just gonna make me feel bad. It's just a thing I do a lot where I come over, and whenever I do a thing, I make it look extremely easy and like, no, duh is what you do. One of my favorite is like when they can't get the mop closet to turn on, and I just I'm not. Oh, that was stupid. I'm not, not the mop closet, the mop thing in the mop closet to turn on. And I literally walk in there, and all I do is like, there's this little black thing you have to turn that sometimes people turn to the side off for some reason. I don't know why. There's no reason to turn it off, but they turn it off, and all I do is I twist it, and then it turns on, and then they just look at me, and I'm like, okay, yeah. My one of my favorite is. Oh no, wait, don't. Oh, okay. When my who now no longer works here at my job, and that makes me sad. She's basically like, I know you're just. She called me over to help her with the mops. Like, I know you're just gonna do something that's gonna make me feel stupid, and I'm like, no, don't worry about it. And then I did that one small thing, and she's like, yeah. See, I knew it. Yeah, good times.
See, I'm very good at leaving very few to no opportunities to roast me. And if someone does attempt to, I'm always good at being able to out roast them to where
Not
like it doesn't it like if you get out roasted then your roasted count. That's how it works.
Yeah. No,
You have to be you have
like, I agree.
like mhm. Well, like I keep so like one of my coworker and like I'm also I have no problem telling a coworker when I have a problem with something that they're doing with work
Uh-huh.
with like how they're doing their work or something. Like for example, I keep having a problem where I come in and the two people that are working before me, um, one of them is bitchy McBitchface and the other one is the guy who gets nervous doing math around me. Um,
Right.
he's pretty cool. He's fine. I don't have a problem with him really. Um, he's fun to roast too. Um, he's been there longer
That's
than
good.
me. But he's young. He's younger. He went to the same high school I did, and he's younger than me. So like I don't feel bad at all about roasting him. It's very
Nice.
easy. Uh, um, but he every time I come in, there's we usually being that we sell Starbucks products, we should have a fresh pot of coffee at all times in case someone orders coffee.
Right.
So like we don't have to go and brew a new pot, which takes like 5 minutes. Because like people get annoyed when they go to orders just a coffee, and it takes 5+ minutes.
Right.
And very frequently when I get there, there's a pot of coffee sitting there, but it's almost empty, or it's cold, or both, or something like that. To where like I wouldn't be able to get a full cup of coffee for someone anyways.
Okay.
So, and what happened is like I'll get there, I'll like hop on the register, and then like what happened a couple of times is I get there, I hop on register, and then someone would order coffee like very shortly after me getting there, and then I'll go get it, and then I look the fool because there's no um there's no coffee, so I have to brew a new one.
Yeah.
You just burn that man. Well, you just burn that pot alive.
I did not. I burned the
I mean,
weeds
he was
around
happy
him.
about it, but still.
He's a pot, too. He's already burning.
Anyways, and like the other day when I came in, I basically told them like, I swear, I told them, you guys have gotta do better job of like keeping track of like keeping coffee made. Literally every
Oops.
time I come in here, there's fucking
That was an
there's
accident. That was a big accident right there. What? Why
I
did it say
I
human?
I was like every time I come in, there's the pot is either like a cold pot of coffee, or it's just about empty, and like there's nothing here. There's nothing here. We can't get some. And they kind of got defensive. They were like they didn't believe me that happens frequently, and like they weren't like they didn't get like mad or anything at me, but they were just kind of like they kind of felt like they were like, oh, the audacity, sort of, to like accuse them of that. And so today I come in, and only one of them's there. The guy's there, and first thing I do is I look at the pot of coffee, and so I turn, so like I go to make a new coffee, and then
get
later
the pot of coffee.
he comes over to me,
and no, that was the end of the story.
And so I like make a new pot of coffee, and then like a little bit later he comes up to me. He's like, "Did you make a pot of coffee?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did. Do you know why I made a pot of coffee?" And he was like, "Oh, like please tell me why you made the pot of coffee." And I just flat out say, because as I previously stated, every time I get here, pot of coffee is empty or cold. It's frustrating, and I completely had him there.
Okay.
He can't.
That's fine.
Like he cannot argue against it. I 100. That was 100% the case. It's very frustrating to me, but I have no problem roasting that. Oh, another thing I did to I don't know if I mentioned this before. To Bitchy McBitch Face was like this was a couple weeks ago. I was like there was just the two of us there. I was super busy, and while I was like super busy running around and everything, she was just standing here. She was just doing like she was breaking down cakes into slices and like and like putting them in like containers, and like we didn't need any of the stuff that she was doing. Basically, at the time we needed to eventually. It was like super busy, and like I needed help actually like taking care of customers rather than just doing like that side work. And at one point, like I was making a drink for somebody, and she turns to me and she's like, and she said like, or she said something like, "Am I being helpful?" or something like that. Because I think I had said something to her earlier about like her not being like helpful or something like that. And then she said that to me, and I told her what you're doing is helpful in the long run, but not right now. You're not really doing anything to help me right now, which is what I really need.
Nice.
Which she took. Yeah, I basically told her she was being useless.
Nice.
Oh no, I told her that. I think I told her that earlier in the day, and then she said like, and then that was why she said something to me, and I basically told her you're still being useless. You're still being useless right now.
That's unnatural.
She also apparently went or like later complained to another coworker that I called her useless, which I 100% did.
Which I 100% did.
But like I did it in the nicest way possible.
That's not true. You could have told her she was useless.
I did. and then I also.
No, but you could have told her literally she was useless.
I did at some point. I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure I said that before to her, and then I told her the other, and then I later told her the other thing what she was doing wasn't useless, but it was basically being useless at the time.
So when you train with me at so I as a trainer, I am what you refer to as one of the most stressful trainers, because I just make it stressful. I don't know. Anyhow, I cause torture. Untold torture when you're training me. But I mean, you'll learn with me. But for example, my favorite one to train is Carousel. And it's because if you train with me on Carousel, I will basically let you fail, and I'll let you go the whole thing by like, okay, so I basically show them once, and I have them do it. And I'll let, things you can fail at. So what you have to do with Carousel is, so when you get, there's a spiel to give. Hey, when I ring the bell the first time, that means the ride's beginning. When I ring the bell the second time, it means the ride ends, and you can, depart. And you have to explain that to everyone going on. So I have them give the spiel. Then you have to let everyone on. You have to balance the ride, which you can't really do for training purposes. I mean, you could do it if there's customers, but when you're training, there's usually not customers. So, but, recording's fine. Okay. It looked like the recording, it crapped out for a second. Or rather, it sounded like the recording crapped out for a second. Yeah, so, why, okay, sure. Why does bouncing on those guys cause you to fly into that? That I don't think is the sign. Okay, well, hey, maybe, yeah, there we go. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, well, come on. Thank you. Oh, you know what? That might be the quill modifier fucking me over there. Or maybe not. Who knows? Anyhow, so after you let everyone in, you have to walk around and inspect everyone inspect everyone, make sure they're sitting properly. They have to sit with both their legs over. Okay, Laylee. Fucking prick. I guess.
You know, Laylee, you're being useful in the long run, but not right now.
No, it wasn't being useful in the long run. They're being useful in the long run. I wouldn't even be upset. It'd just be like, all right,
actually,
fine.
Yooka Laylee. Actually, Laylee was being useful in the short term, but not the long run.
Laylee was not being useful in the short term either. Laylee just wasn't being useful. Anyhow,
Laylee was being.
I'm carouseling.
Whatever. Go ahead.
All right. Anyhow, so what was I gonna say? So you gotta walk around, make sure everyone's sitting. They have to sit facing forward with both their legs across, and if there's a parent accompanying a child, which is a thing that can happen, they have to eat ass, play fast. I don't remember. That's my motto. They have to be standing on this inside rows. So naturally, when they're training, with me, I'm testing all these different things. But also when they do the walk around, they have to jiggle the gates to make sure they fully lock. Cause sometimes they're magnetically locked gates. And most people don't forget to turn those on or anything. But sometimes they don't fully close all the way, so they don't fully magnetically lock, which causes complications. By which I mean someone can walk in and, long story short, on that carousel there's no e-stop because it's an antique one. So if your leg gets stuck underneath the carousel, you're gonna be riding it for about a minute before it stops. So pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yeah, it hurts. So I've been told. Anyhow, so you don't wanna ride the carousel in that formation. So you wanna make sure the gates are locked and they're also sitting properly and all that. So this, so yeah, and then after they whatchamacallit, they do their walk around. They have to ring the bell, and then they start the ride, starting ride is very easy ride to operate. You just gotta make sure you're actually, doing your stuff, and it'll all work out just fine. So there's a lot of places to mess up. Oh, and you gotta keep the key with you too, so no one can just snag the key. So, if they forget to do
some
the
random
spiel,
goose or something.
If they forget to do the spiel, well, usually I catch the spiel when I have them give the spiel. But they walk around. They don't, what they'll do is when I walk around with them the first time, if there's no customers on it, I always walk around with them because I have to. And then when they come back around, I'll be sitting wrong and see if they catch it or they just are okay with me chilling there. They're okay with me standing there not accompanying a child. They're okay with me accompanying my child wrong. They're okay with me sitting wrong. I always sit wrong too, so it's not even that hard. So I do that for the first few cycles. On the last cycle where I'm like, oh, you're gonna be on the last few cycles of me sitting wrong, I casually unlock the gate, stick my wallet down below or something, so that it slightly props the gate open, then turn it back on so it looks magnetically locked. And then I'll see if they catch me wrong sitting, and I'll see if they jiggle the gates, because often people don't jiggle the gates. Then the ride will start, and they'll start the ride, and I will immediately hit the stop button, which is sort of like an e-stop. It just doesn't stop it immediately, but it will when the ride has just begun. And then I'll just sit there and I'll tell them, what'd you do wrong? And then I'll dance to the tune of the carousel and let them sit there and ponder and figure out what happened. And then when they can't figure it out, I'll go to the gate and I will just open the gate. I'm like, oh, like, yeah, you didn't check the gates, man. So that's one of the things they could do. Another thing they could do is they could leave the key, which I will then grab, and then they will go to unlock it, and they'll go to start the ride with the key, and then they'll be like, oh my god, where's the key? And I'll be like, I don't know, what'd you do with it? And I'll fucking freak them out the entire
this villager card?
Yeah. Oh, I should know, if they ever fail, I make them do their entire walk around again and do the whole process again. They could forget ringing the bell, which I'll immediately stop it and say, what'd you do wrong? If they do any of these parts wrong at any point, I will do this. I have no problem. It's very funny. Okay. Anyhow, next time on Speletons. Bye-bye.